Welcome back to the show, everybody. This has been an inspirational program, to say the least, and our next guest continues that trend today.
Absolutely. Cate Cameron is a humanitarian photographer, and she's going to tell us about a great thing called Cameras for Change. How are you?
Hi, Kate. How are you?
So, Kate, tell us about Cameras for Change.
Well, we're a newly established nonprofit society here in BC, and we actually work by offering programs, arts-based programs, to underserved people. Our first project we ran using cameras as the connector factor, teaching digital skills and creative writing to youth in Haiti post-earthquake.
And we've got a great photograph, and you have to tell the story here, because I would have never imagined that this photograph was taken.
This was the first photo?
Yeah, well, not the very, well, it was his first,
I mean,
you know, one of the best of the first day of his photos. We did this workshop in central Haiti with a group of youth that had been displaced after the earthquake, and they were sort of, you know, showing us what their lives were like around water.
Yeah.
And so he took this stunning black and white photo just on a little digital point-and-shoot camera. And,
amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's a depth to the content that you must see back, because, you know,
it's
you're
real.
always
It's
going to have an impediment to getting directly involved in people's lives, whereas if it's just part of your life, you're going to get a much different photograph and much different story behind that photograph.
Well, they have the true access. They're living it, and you know, this is their community. So
I've never heard the term humanitarian photographer before. How did this come into your life? Because you're a professional photographer, obviously.
Yeah, I work as a set still photographer in TV and film, and but at the same time, I wanted to work with meaning. And after seeing a documentary on photojournalists, I thought, this is what I really want to do this. And so I was able to get involved with a 2-year project, CETA funded, which is the Canadian International Development Agency, around water. And I traveled to Zambia, India, and Haiti to do this work. And just the people I met in the communities, I wanted to be able to give back to them and give more. And so,
and this photograph here illustrates exactly what you're talking about. Tell us about this woman here and her life.
Yeah, this is Casey Kasoma. When I met her 4 years ago, she was one of the first people I photographed in field. And her story was pretty typical of a lot of people in that region in Zambia, ravaged by HIV, sort of up to 24 to 28% HIV positive status and 80% unemployment. She had 6 children, most of them who were dead, and she'd been left with all of the grandchildren to look after, and her husband had also recently died. She paid for their food little by little, day by day, by just selling little bits of nshima or mealie meal in the front of her house, you know, and it's like, okay, I've got to...
Just getting by.
Yeah, just day to day, didn't know how she was going to do it.
How fulfilling have you found this whole experience doing the humanitarian work that you do?
Well, you know, I always say to people, I feel so lucky to do this work because it teaches me, and they have so much to teach us. And I know that sounds sort of cliche, and a lot of people say that, but it really is true. It's completely changed my life, and it's just been a wonderful journey, meeting these people and learning about their lives, and you know, and helping them too.
Well, and too often in our society, I find we link wealth to happiness and poverty to misery. And you don't have to travel very far outside North America to realize that poverty and misery are not inextricably linked. You can have joy and beauty in your life and not have a lot
and I felt that at first. I felt overwhelmed by the cultural backlash I was experiencing in these communities, but very quickly it came full circle, and I realized that there's a lot of beauty in their lives. And you know, one of my favorite stories about that was at the end of my trip in India, in this small rural coastal town. At 4 o'clock, all the people went out in the field with their goats, and all the neighbors were together. It was sort of like the dog park version.
It's the gossip.
In India.
Yeah, that's where everybody talks about everything.
How gorgeous, you know, just being able to wander out in the field with all your friends and your goats, you know.
Well, tell us about the event that's happening here in Vancouver. We're surrounded by some great silent auction items. People will get a chance, but tell us the where and the when.
Hands Up 2012.
Thank you. It's April 19th at the Old Bonita on the corner of Cordova and Carroll, and we are raising money to run a Cameras for Change program in Kenya with girls affected by female genital mutilation.
When you go there, do you bring a bunch of cameras with you and you do the workshops? Do the cameras stay behind?
They do, but besides the fact that that's what we're called, Cameras for Change, it's not necessarily about giving cameras. We use that as the connecting factor, but it's really about instilling lifelong skills of using creativity and the experience of creativity in your life.
Well,
what that can
being
do for
empowered
people.
to tell your story, to have an outlet for telling that story to the world
It's very
in general.
transformational and healing, and you know, we've always heard, you know, art heals, and I'm starting to say photography heals.
Tell us about this photo right here.
That's last January, working in Kenya,
My goodness,
working with a group of girls
beautiful.
that are affected, by FGM. I mean, it's so colorful there. It's just amazing.
Well, you can go to the website to find out more and more about the auction items here. They're absolutely amazing pieces from some great artists.
I'm going to go through them really quickly. We have the Moon Split Eagle Mask from Andy Chuek Wesley, beautiful Haida mask, and then we have the Forest Snow 1 by Kimberly French. And this is the artist proof, right?
Yes.
And
how large is the real one?
It's 36 by 54 inches. It's quite a beautiful...
Just stunning.
No kidding. It's beautiful in the smaller form. I can't imagine 36 by 54. This is a flat crucible vase in copper, blue, light green by Robert Held. And we have a gorgeous pendant here, Fee, that I might have to get
Are you asking me to hand model it for you, Mikey?
This is Valerie Gobert, Eclectic Designs. And these are all available?
Yeah, we're having, we've got probably about 20 to 25 different items that are going to be live and silent auction, and so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, good stuff.
Great
Thank you so much. You can go to the website to find out more. And as we mentioned, Hands Up 2012 is happening Thursday, April the 19th at the Old Bonita. That's the one at 1 West Cordova. For tickets, you can find out more info at the website. We're going to take a quick break.